Look at Her is back.
Look at her.
The show where your favorite queens look at their favorite queens and spill some tea.
People message me saying, can I bing bang bong your gut?
Throw some shade.
All shade.
And most importantly, tell us things we don't know. That's right, the legendary Hey Queen sister show Look at Her is returning to OUTtv very soon with a whole new lineup of incredible queens. Look at Her!
One of Mistress's favorite pastimes is something that Mistress calls playing scenes. We in the real world call it making up lies.
To hear any kind of judging from someone who's like my peer, I did kind of had a like too much Red Bull moment where I got pissed off at her.
Ow, you know, and I would be like, ooh.
On the record, Brooklyn and Stacey were just as mean as he was.
I was so nervous being around RuPaul that I didn't realize he wanted to fuck me until I was watching it. Look at her!
Yes! But before our big premiere of our Look at Her reboot, we thought we would return to the roots to let you look back on some of the most classic Look at Her moments from its past 8 seasons.
What can I say about Eureka? She learned to whisper in a helicopter factory.
You want to be a good comedian, start by having alcoholic parents.
We know you love her name.
I prefer my makeup on me.
Oh, bitch! That is shady!
Not the nicest.
No, she wasn't. She was a little tart.
No, she was a bitch.
She was a bitch.
Shady to you, you can apply your lipstick.
This is a real lipstick.
She's a hard-working bitch. She's hard-looking, too.
That was just some tea that I did not know.
The origin story of Look at Her goes all the way back to the very first episode of Hey Queen, which starred the queen of motherfucking drag, RuPaul Charles. This was earliest days. It was our very first episode. And we thought we should play a game with RuPaul. When you're with RuPaul, you want to make RuPaul laugh. And I knew every time I said, look at her, RuPaul would laugh, which she did. And it was also a way we could get RuPaul to talk about all the queens who are currently on the show. So Look at Her was born for RuPaul. Now, it was supposed to be a one-time game, but every other queen that came on after said, wait a minute, I'm not going to play Look at Her? So it became its own show and lasted for 8 seasons. Let's go all the way back to the very first Look at Her with RuPaul themselves. All right, give us the first one.
Ooh, look how pretty she is. Wow. Gay 90s, that's where I saw her before the show in Minneapolis.
Oh.
I saw Miss Bibi Zahara Benet at the, that is Bibi Zahara.
That is Bibi Zahara Benet. That would be very, very bad, RuPaul, if you didn't remember.
Oh, my kids. No, I saw her at the Gay 90s before we started RuPaul's Drag Race. I thought, wow, she's sensational. We got to do something with her.
Direct from Africa.
Yes, honey, Cameroon.
Yeah. Look at her.
Oh, Jinxie. Oh, my God. Jinxie's got a brand new album out that is amazing. And another one, so smart. She just exemplifies that little boy who, again, was too cool and too smart for the school, who had the courage enough to persevere, because most people don't have that kind of courage. And that's what makes our show so fascinating, is that it's all about the tenacity of the human spirit. So we get the best of the little boys who were pushed to the side or said, you're not good enough, and they said, oh, hell, I'm going to prove you wrong.
That's right.
And that's what makes our show. And Jinxie exemplifies that more than anyone. Just a real talent. Did you see her show in New York?
I have not seen the Vaudevillians.
Oh, my God.
And that's a whole nother direction for a drag race queen.
Absolutely. I could see her on Broadway. I could see her in movies. She was on Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods, yeah.
She's an amazing, and a sweet, lovely person. Again, like Tammy Faye, where if you could go through all of that, and you know she's been through it.
She's been through
and still be a lovely sweetheart, that is ace.
Look at her.
Raja, what an amazing creature, just so smart. No one has killed that runway like Raja.
Really
since.
stomps it.
She stomps it. She really does. And smart and, so talented.
Look at her!
Look at her! May I call you Jiggly? I was always hoping that when I said, may I call you Jiggly, she would say, yes, darling, everybody does. She was amazing, so funny.
Look at her! Your newest star.
The breakout star.
The breakout star of the season.
From the season. So I forgot. So we've had 75 queens.
Yes,
76 queens who have been released, including Ornacia.
Her album, I think, is going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be dope.
It's going to be amazing. One of the queens that have done Look at Her more than anyone else is one of the biggest stars of Drag Race. Trixie Mattel, not only an All-Stars winner, but a winner of the hearts of America. Look at her. Your sister, your partner. You tell me.
She's more of a dad.
Is she?
She's more of a great uncle, an unmarried cousin. That's the co-star of the YouTube series.
Yeah.
She's great. She's wonderful. She smells different every day. I see her often, and then sometimes not for a few months. She's really funny and she's great.
How much do you guys film for
We go in, I'm sure it's like this. We go in and we film 4 episodes a day.
Wow, that's a lot.
So we'll talk for like 30 minutes and then change. So it'll take us about 5 hours to get through 4 episodes. But now that we kind of know what our rhythm is, we can get through them pretty fast.
Right.
So we'll film like once a month and we'll do like 4. And it's super, listen, when we made that, it was my idea originally, like, let's do a fashion photo review where we critique Raja and Raven. And there's one episode where we did and people loved it. And everyone was like, you should do your own show. So then I said, let's do a show. And World of Wonder was like, well, what's it going to be about? And I was like, just turn the cameras on and we'll figure it out. And then we ended up calling it what we called it.
Right. And they tried to tell you not to call it that?
Yes, they were like, no one's going to know what that is. And obviously, they found out.
Yeah, I remember when you guys came in to do your duo, Hey Qween, and that was right when Untucked had premiered on the web instead of on TV, and you were like, we got more views than Untucked, sweetie.
Well, now I have a crown, so I can't say things like that.
Oh, right, of course. I'll
if I said that,
clip.
you would just see like a red dot on my head and just RuPaul. You would hear that laugh and just dead. But no, it's a great series, and you'd be amazed. Drag Race, it's the hugest TV show ever. We all spend tens of thousands of dollars to go do All Stars. And that YouTube series is everybody's that's the one that people chase me down the street to be like, girl, me and my roommate, me and my whoever, we watch it every week. A lot of people, stoners, they're like, we put it on and watch it on a loop. They're like, it's the show for smoking weed.
Right.
People love it. And we're 4 seasons in, and the viewership is only growing, so we love it. It's both of our favorite things to do in drag. And World of Wonder wouldn't like me to say this, but it's not because we're retiring early from it. We just like it. So.
Yeah. What was that first day back for the second incarnation of because you'd gone through all the drama with Rehab and the Trixie and Katya show, and then what was the decision to go back to it, and what was that first day like, and how did you resolve all those sort of experience that you had that year before?
Well, we sort of resolved a lot of it. It's not in the documentary, it's not anywhere else, but there was a day where we went for a walk at Runyon Canyon, and we were keeping it very casual, chatting, and we were talking. We're an hour into a hike, and I remember she just turned to me and said, I'm just sorry. And I was like, great. I remember she said, she was like, I didn't know if I didn't know who would be, if I got on the other side of this, who would still be here. I didn't know. So I think she was just pleasantly surprised that friendship is we're not all friends with everyone because it's always easy.
Right.
And if you think I just ditch on my friends, you got me fucked up. So
yeah.
It was, and then when we got on set, I remember for the first after the TV series, I remember she stepped up for a smoke break, and me and Pete from World of Wonder, he looked around the camera and I looked at him and I was like, we're back, bitch.
Yeah.
And it was like it never stopped.
Our next queen is All Stars 2 winner, Alaska Thunderfuck. And honey, whenever she looked, it was legendary. Look at her!
Shannon,
there she is, your old lover.
Oh my gosh,
your former lover. Also, probably the cause of a lot of your stress during your season to live up to
I don't know, like sometimes I felt and I still feel like Chaz Bono a little bit. It's like you're permanently linked to someone who's like really way more famous than you.
Right.
I will always love you.
Did the breakup happen for reasons other than fame pulled you apart, or what?
I think there were a lot of things. There were a lot of factors. I mean, we like went through such like huge changes in our lives.
Yeah, like everyone suddenly knew who you were.
Anything that you're going through personally, like you don't want to like upset your fans. I didn't want to like disappoint anybody, but like I don't know, we changed a lot as people and we went through a lot together.
Did you get sober before or after the breakup? And was that part of it?
It was like the night of like, you know, in the Angela Bassett as Tina Turner movie?
Yes, what's love got to do with it? Uh-huh.
Where she's like bloody and like beaten and she goes to the hotel and she says, "My name is Tina Turner and I don't have any money right now, but please give me a hotel." I sort of had a night like that where we were like,
oh bitch.
We were so drunk and like and we got in like a physical fight and like and that was the night I moved out. I went to a hotel and I said, "My name is Tina Turner."
Right.
I moved out and I stopped drinking that night. I was like, I can't like we can't do this to each other. It needs to be like we need to be separate from each other so we can like survive.
Right.
Cuz it wasn't good. We were fighting.
Yeah.
So like that was it. I had a Tina Turner night.
A queen who's played Look at Her more than anyone else is Raja Gemini, the winner of Drag Race Season 3, as well as the queen of She Already Done Had, hers is. Raja's first visit to Look at Her was something I will never forget. Look at her! There he is! The most mysterious enigma and beauty of them all.
Death dropped. I always death drop. I always, shablam when I see Matthew Anderson. Matthew is my... Ooh. Okay. Mentor. Mm-hmm. He is a template. He is a beacon. He is a creator. He's an artist. He's a life giver. He's a life taker. He is macabre. He is gorgeous. He is. I could pull out a thesaurus. I could pull out every single fucking word. People don't even know what a thesaurus is. That's how old we are.
What is that, an internet program?
It's like an abacus. It's the same shit, you know.
Is that spell check? Is that a spell check book?
But Matthew is. I had a photograph of Matthew Anderson that I had ripped out of a magazine in '91. So I was still in high school. And it was an editorial shoot of him and Zaldi, a black and white sort of sepia tone shoot that they had done in this large, when magazines were still quite large.
Yeah.
And so I had ripped out this photo. It was about drag queens in New York City.
Wow.
And I ripped out this photo of Matthew and I carried it inside of my Peachy folder. That's another indication of my age. Peachy folders, yes, I had a picture of Matthew that I carried around because it was like sort of aspirational. I was like, when I grow up, I want to be this guy. And so I would see Matthew occasionally on like House of Style.
I love watching that.
Like
Video fashion.
Yeah, there was a whole special on Matthew Anderson as a makeup artist, and I was like, oh my God, that's that guy. And then I saw a picture of RuPaul in some magazine with this like, panoramic view of like Albert Sanchez, I believe was the photographer's name, and Zaldi, and like it was like a whole
the RuPaul army.
Yes, the army, and Matthew was there, and so Matthew's always been like that beacon. I was like, oh my God, when I grow up, I kind of want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
And so Matthew and I have a really great history together. He's a very great friend of mine, and I think our relationship has just gotten closer and closer over time because we really sort of understand each other. He often calls me his All About Eve in some ways.
Oh, right.
Yes. But you know what? Again, he's my mentor. I've learned everything from Matthew. I learned how to be the skinniest, fabulous, most weirdest drag queen I could ever be.
God bless him.
And how to do makeup, and how to just kind of let yourself go as an artist and not be so concerned about I don't even know what that word is because I just kind of like the constraints, maybe,
of
or
what,
the limits.
the limits of what you're supposed to do.
That people place on us as artists. Matthew is just kind of like, he's transcended beyond that, you know?
He has. One of my favorite queens who have ever come on Look at Her is someone who is never afraid to spill the piping hot tea or throw shade. That's, of course, the one, the only, Gia Gunn.
Look at her.
Aww. Were you really smiling with joy when she fell like they showed you on the show?
Girl, of course not. Realistically, I was like, that was more the expression I felt for her.
Right.
Because she poured so much coin into this production. She really wanted to give us this show, which it very much so was a show. It just, you know, I was gagged.
And they wanted to show, they didn't show the take that where she didn't fall.
Right.
They used the take where she did fall.
And honey, please believe, she was like, are they gonna show that? And they're like, oh, don't worry, honey. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, baby, they're probably gonna add sound effects, make you do it once, twice, 3, 4 times, and again. They might even show the stage breaking in half. I don't know. But realistically, you're falling on national television, so just get ready. But no, I adore her. She's a great person. And
have you guys had the chance to really clear it up?
We have.
Like your one time, like where you came in the middle of the talking, we all know that didn't quite do it.
No, we have. Hands down. On Watch What Happens Live, Andy Cohen, you know, I knew she was going to be there. And we hadn't really spoken. She unfollowed me on Instagram. And you know, as millennials.
Yes, sweetie. That's a statement.
When somebody unfollows you, baby, the dark cloud has came over. Which means shit's getting not only gaggy, but it's getting real. And so I said, okay, unfollow as well. And, you know, then I saw her there. And she actually really surprised me. She was very mature, and she came up to me after the episode. You know, we didn't say anything to each other the whole time, but at the end of it all, she goes, Gia, come over here. I want to talk to you.
Oh.
And, you know, I closed the door, and she goes, you know, I just want you to know, like, living the whole experience, like, I hated you. And I hated what you did to me, and blah, blah, blah. She goes, but I see what you did there. And I was living for it. It made such good TV. Like, you know, I don't understand why you were continuously talking shit about me in the interviews, even after All Stars, which is another thing I would like to say, you know, yeah, why did I need to continue the shade even after the show was done? You know, why couldn't I do the billboards and do the, you know, this and that without having to be that person? I honestly think I just felt so bitter after the experience, and I really didn't have another narrative yet, and that was it. Again, starving for attention, wanting to be, you know, fearful of being lackluster, and just not being that shady bitch that, you know, my character involves but is not fully embodying. I don't know, it's weird because it's like, well, if this is who you are, why aren't you just showing that person all the time? And it's like, well, honey, I'm real, she's human. Drag sometimes is confusing for me. Put me in a different setting where we're not talking about drag or drag race or shady things. And guess what? I'm a different person. Different topics, different things, different feelings, different expressions. And we did. She goes, you know, I just want to move forward, and, you know, I want to nip this in the bud. And yeah, you know, I get it. Like, I'm sorry, and I've learned from my mistakes. But I think what's most important is what exists between you and I, which I think is a sense of mutual respect.
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
Latrice Royale, one of our fave queens, someone who is such a friend to the show, always showed up and gave us what we needed when it was time to spill the tea. Look at him. Maluzon.
It's just like, oh, my heart.
Now, when you watched All Stars back up to the point where you watched, did you see more emotion from Manila than you saw in real life? Did you see less? I mean, because we as the audience got the deep feelings and, you know, all of that when she even had to consider whether she was going to eliminate you.
It was the ugly cry moment of the season. It was so emotional. It was so many layers of things that were like at stake. You know, like she was trying to redeem herself. She was trying to save me first and foremost. She was like, it was just it was an emotional moment. And yeah, we both ugly cried, and I definitely felt the love from her, and she was gutted. I can feel that she was gutted and heartbroken that she couldn't save me. I wasn't worried about it. I was okay. You know what I mean? I was okay either which way with the decision. But she took it really hard. She took it really, really hard. And seeing it back, I was just like, wow. And the girls told me when I came back, they were like, girl, Manila melted down over you, girl. I was like, what, really? And I didn't know all what happened.
Right.
You know? And then I saw it, I was like, oh shit, okay. But there was a lot of layers to it, and I understand what was at stake for her and what she was trying to do. And so, but that just goes to show that's love and friendship. And then they try to spin it and make it look like I was happy when she left.
Right.
Come on, bitches, come get real with it. That doesn't make sense. She made jokes and I laughed at it. Yeah. She's funny.
When Naomi gave her the quite brutal chop, what was your take?
Now, you want to know the tea?
Yes, I
do. Okay, so, you know, you have the little deliberation.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, I didn't expect Manila to be in the bottom. I didn't know who was going to be in the bottom with me, but I did not expect it to be Manila. But then I thought about it like, oh, right, it's that episode. They have to put Latrilla in the bottom.
Right, of course.
We all,
yeah.
Come on now.
You've seen this before.
Seen this shit happen.
You lived it.
You know it. So I'm like, oh, all right, this is that moment. And so, but what I didn't know was that while I was gone, the girls had a different experience of Manila than, of course, I had because Manila's on my side. I love her.
Right, yeah.
And she loves me. And so I guess Monet didn't let go of the fact that Manila was going to send her home regardless, you know, that was just the way it was going to go. And I guess Naomi didn't trust her either. There was a situation that happened, I guess, with them. And so, and I had saved Naomi the week before. So when I got back and we had sat down, the first thing that Naomi said was like, you have nothing to worry about. You're fine. You had my back last week, you know, and I got you this week, and And I was just like, oh, of course, production wants you to do the whole crying, begging thing, and so we had to do that for the camera. And then when Monet came over, she was like, girl, you have nothing to worry about. I was just like, oh, okay. And so I was just sitting there like, what happened? She said, yeah, I don't forget, I'm petty, And I was just like, So, yeah, that's a little beside tea on that.
One of the most stunning and kookiest queens we've ever had on Hey Qween or Look at Her is Katya herself.
Look at her!
Oh God, Danny DeVito. Well, you know, it's funny with Ginger and Violet because when we were on the show, you couldn't have told me that she wasn't gonna win. I mean, that was just a given. For me, for Trixie, not Violet, obviously, but yeah, I just felt like it was her season. Certainly all the challenges were. I mean, she killed them.
Yeah,
and even when she failed so spectacularly. You know what I mean? That she had great lip syncs.
Yeah.
The one with the conjoined twins, where she like gave a mastectomy to herself, and then what was the other one with Trixie? It's just great. She's a classic fucking showgirl entertainer. You know, big hair, big attitude, big fat thighs. I'm just kidding. But you know, just big drag, and she's so good at it. You know, but. I think that the only thing she's not is like cool or hip or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like she wears a Ninja Turtle sweatshirt. Right. You know. And the Drag Race, the vocal majority of the population of Drag Race viewers that is the most vocal are young people, and they don't like the Ninja Turtles. I don't think. So I think, and also, I have a question for you. This is a serious question. When did it start to be a bad thing when a drag queen is bitchy?
I don't know. I think it's always been in the culture of drag, darling.
I mean, hello, hasn't it always been the anomaly that a drag queen is nice?
Yeah, do you mean like the way fans react to people like, she's a bitch or whatever on the show?
Hookers, drug dealers, villains, sociopaths, psychopaths, not mass murderers, but drag queens have never been like super nice people, reasonable people. I mean, is that not true?
No, it's not untrue.
No. So when she threw a little bit of shade and was maybe a little, I don't know, critical and where she shouldn't have been, people just like jumped on her. And that I think that was what kind of swayed the vote towards Violet. I mean, I'm not sure. It's all conspiracy theories, but, maybe it was the scabs on her legs that really did it.
It's not just drag race queens who our guests are looking at. Sometimes they look at other mainstream stars and spill some unexpected tea on them. Like the time that Shea Coulee told us about what wild headache she got from trying to work with the legendary Azalea Banks.
She blocked me.
Oh, yeah, she did?
Yeah, she blocked me. She blocked me before she started talking shit about me. Now, if you want to be a bad bitch, Azalea,
right?
You talk shit about the bitch, don't block a bitch if you want to talk shit. Like, give them a chance to like clap it because she loves to go toe to toe with people on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes I think she like knows like you don't really want to fuck with a queen like that because like we will bring it too. Yeah. Azalea, I really tried to stick up for her and be a supporter of her, but we tried collaborating. That didn't really work out too well. And even after that I was
whatever happened with that? Did you guys ever meet? I mean, how far did it get?
No,
we were all excited.
I flew all the way out to New York to go into the studio with her, and she blew me off for 2 days straight.
Really?
And I was just all like, and I was just, that's the tea. And I was just all like, girl, I had things that I could be doing. And I was just all like, and I used my miles.
Not the miles.
I used my miles, girl, to come out there and try to record with your ass.
Right.
But you couldn't be bothered to show up to the studio. So I was
Is that
just
what
like,
happened? You just sat and waited for her? The shade of it all.
Yeah, just sat there waiting. I'm not.
How long did you wait?
2 days.
Pause right here.
2 days. I was in New York for 2 days. I waited around for her for 2 days, and we did not even get together. And even after that, I still was just like, we all have our days. Right. But after the whole thing with Call Me Mother, and then her saying the things that she said about RuPaul, and then the things that she was saying about drag queens in general, I was just all like, girl, you are so canceled. Just like go and just be a hater over there in the haters section, and we'll just be over here celebrating each other with our Emmy Award-winning television show and our Emmy Award-winning hosts and all of our cute bops that our fans love. So stay pressed, but be blessed.
Fresh off of the season where she was eliminated first, but won America's heart, Vanjie visited us on the Look at Her set. And girl, if Vanjie's around, it is always a laugh riot. Look at her.
Cameron. Come on, bitch.
When Cameron was just recently here at the beach house, and we were asking her about being one of the snacks of the season that everybody wanted to get with, and she said the real snack of the season was you.
Well, Cameron is fine. I don't need to say that. Y'all already know that. Everybody knows that already. You want me to spill tea or what?
Yeah.
You know what? I will say this. And Cameron don't even know this.
Ooh.
When he see it, he's gonna gag. Okay. Well, I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. I seen a picture of Cameron.
Oh.
A good one. A good picture. And Miss Thang got a good old, she got something right. When what is right is right.
Oh my goodness, the tradie secrets.
She got something. something. She has something. Not that thing, but she got something. She got something.
Well, it looks like
airplane.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Miss Cameron's packing.
Well, that's the tea that we.
And I didn't see it in
not
person.
get.
Yeah, I saw the photo. Somebody was like, "You know, this your sister?" And I saw the tattoos. I said, "Yeah, that is my sister." And I said, "Scroll down." Oh, that's my sister. That's my brother. Yeah. Cameron, how you took that thing? Yes.
Back when the lighting was kind of crappy on Look at Her, we still had great content, including one of our most popular Look at Her episodes with the rock star diva herself, Adore Delano.
Look at her!
Alaska!
Now, on our main show, you did what I think is the most perfect impression of Alaska. Just give me another taste of that.
She'll be like, we'll be in rehearsal, and she'll be like, Adore, do you want to close the show today, or do you want me to? And I was like, oh, okay. No, but Alaska's a really, really hard worker. She's very professional. She, if one of the queens is having a diva moment on tour, and they're like, I don't want to do this part, she's like, I'll do it. And she just loves performing, and it's really neat to see somebody that's just a natural performer like that, and very creative and weird, and just awesome. She's an awesome fucking queen. She was also a big inspiration before she was on Drag Race, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you seen a video of her? It was in 2009. Did you see it? It was for a tranny shack. She got peed on while she was singing I Will Always Love You.
Oh, wow.
And she was in a yellow gown. She looked beautiful. And these guys walked up to her, and they stood on these crates, and they took their dicks out in a jockstrap, and they had pig masks on. And they started peeing in her mouth and all over her. And she was just belting this song out with piss all over her.
Wow.
And it was the best thing I've seen in my fucking life. And she'll forever be my favorite queen for that shit. I thought that was awesome.
That is hardcore.
I love some piss play.
Wow. All right, then.
Sometimes when a queen shows up to do Look at Her, they bring a friend. And sometimes that friend comes on camera and does the entire show with her. That was the case when Detox came on Hey Qween and was visited by the lovely Vicky Vox, who was having so much fun. We said, girl, you need to get over here on the main couch and do Look at Her with Detox. And that is exactly what she did.
Look at her.
Oh,
Jinx wants to.
That's Jinx. That's Jinx. Don't you look cute?
That's a great photo.
That's a great photo. I love Jinx. Jinx is one of the most talented people I've ever met.
I'm really proud of her.
She's batshit crazy, but she's so, and you have to be batshit crazy when you're that talented, you know. And she's just, she's an incredible human being. She's crazy.
I'm proud of her because she just voiced a character on what's it called, Steven Universe.
Steven Universe,
yeah. And she has gotten so much shenaniganery in regards to it, and I'm proud of her for staying the course and doing what she do and doing it well. And go ahead, girl.
Yeah, she's
What's
brilliant.
something that we would have, because she's been on some of those tours with you, right, Jinx?
We used to tour a lot together.
What's a fun tour story that we haven't heard?
Oh God.
Jinx is so much sillier than anybody knows.
She is very
She's
silly.
so silly.
But there was this one
Go ahead.
There was this one time during Battle of the Seasons that we stole Jinx's trade on accident.
I wasn't on that because I've never been on a season.
And it was Bianca, Adora, and I, and like Ivy we were like waiting to go out to the club, and we saw this guy pull up in this truck, like a delivery truck, and he was super cute. So we like all started flirting with him while we're waiting for our Uber, and we're like, we're about to go to this club. And he was like, oh, well, I think I was going to go to that club too. Like, hop in and we'll all go together. And so we all jump into this car and we all go together and we go to the club. And it's like after one of the shows and we're all high drunk. And then after we get there, we realize, he tells us, he's like, yeah, well, I was on Grindr and I was talking to Jinx and I was there to meet up with Jinx and hang out with Jinx. And we were like, why did you take us to the club? And he was like, well, I mean,
because you cock blocking.
He was like, well, 1 or 5. It's like, you know what I mean? What do I choose? 1 or 5? And the next day, we're all like, this is hilarious. We're all cracking up. We all feel a little bit bad. A little bit.
You didn't feel bad.
But we're all cracking up. And then we get the fucking tour bus the next day. And Jinx is like, well, yeah. I was supposed to meet up with the grind man. And he just, he was a no-show. He was a flake.
So we were like, Bianca and I looked at each other, and eventually we ended up telling her. And
Rude. She was not amused.
Oh.
Oh.
She was like, I would have gone out with you guys if I knew. I was like, we didn't know.
Okay.
Poor Jinx. She has a successful career.
But there's only one place you'll find the new season, and that's on OUTtv. This season is fire with Denali, Lady Camden, Priyanka, Raja, Jan, Crystal Method, Carrie Colby, Lawrence Chaney, and Irene Dubois. And you can only see it on OUTtv. And I guess there's only one thing to do. Hit it!
Look at us.
See you then.
Look at us.